All right. So we were talking about some time back how listening is an effort. Just hearing it doesn't suffice. We will listen to the talks with all the intent, right? So you know about the topic that's going to be cogitated upon right now. Of course, I've briefed you about that just as I was inviting you and doing a build up for this session. But for sure, you can keep a tab on the agenda icon that you see on your screens and be updated with what's coming up. Right now, as you know, transforming IT with full stack AI ops. This session is going to be taken over by Karthik, country manager, ITM Microfocus. And Karthik, if you're all set, here's extending a warm welcome to you at the summit and handing it over to you as well.
Thank you so much for joining me for this session on transformation of IT with full stack AI ops, where we'll try to cover a little bit about what AI ops is and what is it that we bring to the table as Microfocus. My name is Karthik. I am the country sales manager for the IT infrastructure management solutions from Microfocus. So let's look at what is the evolution of AI ops. It started around 2005 when words like big data analytics were coined, and it got accelerated by Hadoop's entry into the scheme, where it was the ability to handle complex and large volumes of data sets which is not possible using traditional data processing intelligence tools. Fast forward across to 2014, which is when Gartner coined the term IT operations analytics, which is predominantly a method to retrieve, analyze, and report data for IT operations. In 2017, Gartner introduced or added the term artificial intelligence to drive more emphasis on the AI component of AI ops, which accounted for the shift to cloud and containers, as well as the need for organizations to better assimilate the multiple sources of data that were getting thrown at them. And in 2019 is when, again, Gartner differentiated and said that we need to now be cognizant of the fact that we should be able to do multi-domain AI ops rather than having standard AI ops or domain-specific AI ops, which are only focused on ITSM or NPMD or APM, which has to be done in addition to ITM. So hence, multi-domain AI ops or differentiation vis-a-vis domain agnostics or domain-specific AI ops came through. Why do we need AI ops now? You look at the amount of organizations that are actually doing cloud adoption. And by this year, we are expecting that more than 90% of organizations will be relying on a mix of private clouds, multiple public clouds, and legacy platforms to meet their infrastructure requirements. And this is going to be done not only by IT, but also by the lines of business. And as a direct consequence of this increased cloud adoption, you're going to have 2.5 or more than 2.5 times additional amount of alerts coming through because of the huge volume of infrastructure that is going to get added. And because there is so much of additional infrastructure alerts that are coming through, the amount of time, approximately 72% of downtime will be spent on identifying the RCA, because there is a plethora of events coming through across multiple domain infrastructure. This is huge. And when you start imagining what this translates into in terms of dollar value, whether it is in terms of incident management, whether it's in terms of troubleshooting and RCA and resolution, or in today's world, user experience, the numbers are staggering. And I'm assuming that these numbers will actually all resonate with you in your organizations, in your journeys that you're doing to go towards AI ops. So what is the upside of full stack AI ops? The upside is that it helps you drive enhanced resiliency. It helps you to get a lot more agile. So instead of ripping and replacing your current investments, it helps you to become, get a purview and an overview of all the other existing infrastructure that you have by ensuring that there is increased observability. It helps you reduce the noise in terms of outages that are happening. It helps you drive efficiency, gets you to a stage of being more predictive. It also helps you to get and understand how is it I can use machine learning to do not just simple stuff like event correlation, but I can also do pattern detection. This, in turn, allows you to innovate to your stakeholders, both internal and external, and hence make sure that IT is providing a lot more value to your stakeholders. Now, let's look at the 5 steps which are required to delivering full stack AI ops. Right at the top is to be able to align to the business goals of the organization. More importantly, you need to observe everything, because every source of information or every piece of information that gets generated needs to be looked at. You need to be able to put all this information into a central data lake. It has to be domain agnostic, as we mentioned in the beginning, and it should be able to drive automation using the AI. These are the 5 steps that we believe help organization to transcend and deliver full stack AIOps. So let's start with the top. How do we align people, tools, and processes and ensure that there is business clarity in the goals that are being set? This is fundamental to the very tenet of AIOps, because by ensuring that you're aligning the tools, the people, and the processes, you will have clarity in terms of defining what is the exact goal that you need to do. When you're discussing monitoring, the goal is not to see what more you can add in terms of monitoring tools, but to ensure that the existing tools not only meet your requirements, but are also able to deliver actionable insights to you, which is very, very critical. Which is why we at Microfocus believe that it's not just about technology. Technology is essential, but what we help or what we differentiate in is that we provide end-to-end assistance throughout your entire AIOps journey, whether it is a transformation workshop to assess your maturity, define the roadmap, get the entire solution stack implemented for you, and then ensuring that there is sustenance being provided to drive continuous value for the deployment that is done in your organization. Second step, which is about observing everything. At this point of time, you will have data or insights or alerts coming in from multiple point solutions within your organization, whether it is from an application layer, whether it is from a database layer, whether it's from the network layer, or from the IT infrastructure management layer. All of these are throwing out alerts and events and matrices and logs to you, and all of these are actually getting into a centralized management console. What we believe is that the centralized management helps you drive 60% faster incident resolution by ensuring that you're aggregating both cloud and on-premise data into a single consolidated dashboard, which helps you drive faster mean time to resolve. This is a snapshot view of what a typical dashboard looks like, which has got a combination of health indicators. There are integrated application view. There are views which are spanning the entire topology and the geography of the entire organization. And at a single glance, you will get statistics with links which will help you drive full ROI or full event information. And this is done real time. Let's move on to the third step, which is how about creating a central data lake. And why is the central data lake so essential? Again, when you look at the different streams or the alerts which are coming in across the application layer, the database layer, the network layer, or the IT infrastructure management layer, you also need to factor in that on an average, there will be approximately more than 23 other monitoring tools that need to be integrated. This is spanning multiple organizations that the study was done at, where we looked at about close to 1,000 plus organizations where the study was done, and 23 integrations mandate having a centralized data lake. What we bring to the table is a single big data platform across multiple domains. So we have Microfocus brings to the table a platform called COSO, or Collect Once, Store Once, which is a data unification data lake. It is driven with algorithms which are based on machine learning, as well as an AI which helps you drive an insight engine. So it helps you define a baseline, helps you detect your anomalies, and helps you ensure that there is event analytics that is being done. So every time there is an anomaly breach, you're able to drive not only actionable insights, but you're also able to take it to the next level in terms of understanding why this particular anomaly has happened in the first case. And all of this actually bubbles up into a reporting engine across the underlying infrastructure there. And this reporting level could be both classic reporting as well as dashboards which help you do persona-based or cross-domain reporting engines that you can drive. And now we've also moved ahead to start offering customers a solution where the customers can bring their own BI tool and run their own tool sets and run their own BI queries on top of the raw information level that's actually coming through, which can help the customers drive a lot better, meaningful insights on the information flow which is coming through what the underlying infrastructure layer. As moving ahead on this one, this also helps you do role-based real-time visualization, whether it is somebody who's an operator or somebody who's an SME, where you can have out-of-the-box custom cross-domain reporting to having executive dashboards who are more interested in not just the IT part of it, but a combination of IT and business part of it. You can also have dashboarding being done for non-IT execs who only want to have, who are more interested in seeing the view, which is more from a business point of view. So this span from SMEs to non-IT executives is what we're able to drive. And this helps you to drive insight or take actionable insight, because this is all based on real time as well as historical data, because of this one single consolidated common data lake which is available from Microfocus. Moving on, we also need to realize that having classic domain-focused AI solutions don't actually drive the value that is required in a full stack AI ops deployment, for which the recommendation is that you move across to domain agnostic configuration-free AI ops engine. So again, going back to the data lake, moving across that entire data set into an AI engine, which allows you to take actionable insights, is the domain agnostic configuration through AIOps journey that you need to drive. So looking at it from an example, what you would have is topology, which is getting automatically discussed. So out of the box, you would have stuff like deduplication, event reduction, even storm reduction, or synchronization, downtime suppression across the CMS layer, to optimize correlations, where we can do three types of correlation, whether we can do stream-based correlation, we can do topology-based event correlation, or even we can also do time-based event automation, which helps you take actions which are executed with the time-based criteria that you define, all combined with AI-based automatic event correlation. This helps you to discover patterns on event data, which is driven through the ML algorithms, which are a part of the entire solution stack from Microfocus, integrated with multiple third-party events integration platform across other solution sets. So it's a combination of not only having out-of-the-box events and event reduction, but at the same time also having a lot of AI-based and ML-driven insights, which helps you to do more than 90% of event reduction and helps drive extreme automation north of 95% by evolving your operations to full stack AIOps. This helps you reduce noise automatically with zero event configuration. So you would have a view which allows you to look at topology automatically being discovered not only across the infra layer, but across the application layer. It helps you identify the business service which is getting impacted in case of any outage. It has the ability to train the algorithms, which allows specific customer-specific configurations and baselines and thresholds being set. And at the same time, it helps you drive automated event correlation, which helps you reduce event noise. Now, last step on the AIOps journey is when we are connecting AI to extreme automation using the machine learning algorithms that I just mentioned. So again, across the multiple streams of information between the infra and the application layer, data is getting stored into a single consolidated data lake, which using AI and ML helps you drive extreme automation. To do that, we actually drive automated remediation, which helps us to reduce the total noise and helps drive excess of 95% of known problems being automatically remediated. This is driven by a very, very powerful workflow engine that we have, which is operations orchestration, with more than 8,000 plus out-of-the-box operations and workflows available. This has an extremely easy-to-use workflow designer, which allows you to drag and drop, helps you to customize, helps you to update and share workflows graphically, which is the most backed by the most powerful orchestration engine. When you're able to schedule, run, monitor all these IT processes from a single dashboard, your operators are able to do a lot more in terms of driving automated remediation and view the results of the automated remediation and hence the reduction involved in the noise in the entire flow. For us, and again, this is being backed up, this is an example of a global oil and gas technology services company which is able to save excess of 4 million and more than 107,000 plus man-hours by automating more than 95% of executable actions. Now, in summary, to bring the full stack AIOps vision together, what we have is the entire underlying layer of infrastructure alerts coming in through multiple domains, all of them getting consolidated into a single data lake, which is known as a collect one, store one data lake, which has its own Vertica engine, which allows you to do a lot of AI and a lot of ML on this particular data lake, which allows you to do and take the data into a service assurance layer. And the service assurance layer gives you visualization, gives you topology event correlation, helps you do a faster RCA. Thus, you can then do an integration with your service governance layer to ensure that there is the ticket flows across into the service governance layer and helps drive the closed loop incident process that you want to drive. You can also combine that with the service automation layer, where extreme automation kicks in with the AI and ML layer to drive the full stack AIOps vision together. That for us is the closed loop incident process, which is the eventual goal to ensure that you've got full stack AIOps vision in your organization. And this is a journey that we think Microfocus, we're very sure that Microfocus is able to drive a lot of value, and we'll be very, very keen to partner with you on that. The full stack value with Microfocus, as I mentioned, is that it not only helps you drive increased resiliency and agility, it helps you drive a lot more observability, reduces noise, and helps you to innovate for your stakeholders, both internal and external. A few metrics is given here. So there is 20 times reduction in terms of the number of critical alerts, to excess of 4 million in annual cost savings, as we saw with one of the customers that we have, to reduction in terms of IT tickets, to improvement in RCA, and more than extremely important is to note that more than 95% of your actions can be automated by following this, by taking this approach where you got the entire AIOps journey together. With that, I want to thank you for spending time with us and look forward to partnering with you. Thank you.
And Karthik, thank you very much for those perspectives, those insights. As I watched you talk on transforming IT, I was just wondering about, my mind just drifted towards the Shark Tank India. So let us know on the social wall how many of you amongst our audience members have been watching and following the Shark Tank India episodes. What stands out in the show is how the contestants are driven by creativity, by innovation, and also often the tech sustainability. So I think that's very inspiring to note. They see an opportunity where others see problems, and that is how the economic engine moves forward. Well, a panel discussion that's going to enable discussions on enabling a hyper-connected ecosystem is just around the corner. We'll be right back with an exclusive discussion, ladies and gentlemen, with an accomplished panel. I promise you some mighty useful takeaways, so stay tuned as you all just get ready to hear our industry experts speak to you all. We'll be right back.